All right, so if you've seen the title of this video, you probably know what's going on with these boxes. So we got some explaining to do with that. Not too long ago, I was hanging out in my office, scrolling through Temu, like every American's doing these days, and looking for decorations for my garage. I'm a Mustang enthusiast, so all I did was search up Mustangs, and I stumbled upon this. I've always wanted some sequential type blinkers, and then it gave me an idea, okay, what else can we buy from Temu to potentially spice up this car? And you know, I came up with a list of things. I will be straight up. The list of things I have for this car is strictly cosmetics. Mechanically, I don't know that I would trust anything off Temu to put on this car, at least. Maybe on my 68 and whatnot. There wasn't much to choose from for this car specifically. There's a lot of universal stuff, but I wasn't trying to go too ricer with this car. I want to keep it, you know, at least respectable. I don't want to go crazy with just throwing ricer mods at this thing. Absolutely not. So I guess we can start diving into throwing parts on it. One part on here that I'm gonna put on my 68. So that's everything else is going on this car, but I do have one part that I do want to test on my 68. I bought specifically for my 68. But yeah, I'm just gonna stop chit-chatting and let's just jump right into it. All right, so the first thing I want to try is this window crank, because on my 68 I have missing window cranks. So for a pair, it's like 80 bucks. This kit on Temu is actually $8. Now it's kind of got like this rough finish to it. It's not like smooth or anything. I'd prefer it to be smooth, and it's about the same size of what an actual original window crank for a 68 Mustang would be. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this on and honestly test it. I saw these on there. I didn't have intentions of getting something like this, but I saw it on there and it was cheap. So I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and give this kit a try and see if it works. Save myself a couple bucks. So we got this little fitting that goes right onto here. At least it's supposed to, but it does not appear to fit. Yeah, this is way too small. Yeah, this kit was a complete waste. You know, it was only $9, but still, it's an absolute waste of money, and I will not be ordering window cranks again, at least not from Temu. So the splines on these are a little too, or at least this whole entire hole is a little too small to fit on the splines on the 68 window crank. So now we're gonna jump into this. We'll try, we'll give this a try, which is just a shift knob. Nothing too crazy. I didn't really like a lot of the options that were on there. I'm not even a big fan of this one, but it's a universal kit apparently, and this is plastic, so it's very light. Something like this, having some weight to it kind of helps you throw into other gears, but let's give this a try. Should be able to just unscrew this. Oh, it's got some weight to it. And then we gotta find just the one that fits on here. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. Like the inside of these don't even have threads, so this can't just thread on. If you force it on there, it will. It's plastic, so maybe that's what's supposed to happen. You just force it on there, and because it's plastic, it makes its own threads. This is absolutely terrible. I feel like I would miss a gear just because of how tall this thing is. Yeah, this thing's for sure not going back on. This kind of stuff is not for everybody. Somebody else, you know, might find some use out of this. Yeah, so what it did really, it's actually kind of smart, but what it did was created some threads in there for this to thread onto. And this is plastic, this is metal. So you won't have to worry about the plastic. You won't have to worry about the plastic destroying the metal or anything. Like I said, this has no weight to it really. It's kind of light, It feels just about the same of what the ball is. I don't like that it's taller. I should have picked maybe another ball. Maybe I do another video and try another shifter, but this sits on there nice. These universal plastic pieces. I imagine if you throw hard enough too, we'll just destroy these threads, and then your shifter might even pop off. So your shift knob might even pop off. So yeah, we're gonna call that one a bust too. I'm just gonna push that off to the side. Next on the agenda, I'm pretty sure you can kind of tell what this is already, but floor mats. I currently have some carpet style ones. I mean, this has got a little bit of a bend to it right here. Doesn't look too bad, but this shape definitely doesn't look like it belongs at all. That shape right there does not look like it belongs at all. We got that one, and of course driver's side. The driver's side looks way better than the passenger side. So we got these, which are, as you can see, just collect dust. And I don't drive this car. I put probably about 500, not even that. I put probably 100 miles on it a year. It just idles more than anything. But here's a new rubber mat going in. Okay, so one flaw that I found with this already in just a few seconds that it's been installed. One flaw is this doesn't sit all the way up against it. You can probably put some, I don't know. There's nothing. It does create a decent sized gap, which you can see along here. It's not perfect. I mean, it buttons in nicely. Yeah, these line up. These line up. This edge is nice. All up in there, it's pretty nice. And from afar, this is how it looks. It looks like it's dirty here, but that's just the way the light's reflecting off of it. Yeah, it's the same thing for the passenger side. There's kind of a little bit of a gap over here. It's not that bad, but you still have that same gap right here. There's probably something you can do to have these molds sit in place for a while. But they're not bad. For the price tag on these, I don't know, I paid about 55 bucks. They do come with rears as well. But because I don't ever have anybody riding in the rear, that's not gonna happen. So everybody's preference is different. I know with rubber mats, if you have dirty shoes, dirt will show up. Rubber mats would kind of be the way to go because they're really good at just keeping the dirt and rocks contained. Whereas carpet, it's kind of a pain in the ass to clean out if you just had regular carpet mats. So they're not the best, but they're also not bad too. It's just this, being able to see this every time coming into the car, it's just kind of, it's not ideal. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to this car, so that's not going to cut it. I guess we can just go ahead and get started on the last few things that we have for this car. Hopefully it's a saving grace. So we're now officially 3 items in, and honestly I'm going to call that 0 for 3. It's not looking good. Hopefully these last 2 items can really be our saving grace on Temu parts. My opinion, I mean, I guess you can call it my opinion, you know, the floor mat's not fitting perfectly would kind of be an issue, at least for me. There's also different floor mats you can get. I believe they have some like leather type ones, or leathers, or you know, you can go in with the carpet. Honestly, I'm probably going to go back in with the carpet. Yeah, these other ones aren't going to cut it. And then the shift knob too, the fittings being plastic can really be an issue because if you're really trying to, you know, throw into gear, the threads aren't going to hold up all that well, especially since the leverage you're going to have with it being longer, pushing it will probably eventually pop those threads, and then your shift knob is just going to slide right off one day when you're downshifting, or you know, you're throwing towards you or throwing away, it's just going to pop off. And then our first thing. The build quality is all right, but it doesn't fit my car. If it did fit, then I would consider it worth it, but I only spent like $9 on this, so. All right, let's just jump right into the next one. Don't mind the change of clothes. Actually, it's another day for me. Had to find a stopping point on the last one, but next I really want to get these done on there. I want to try these out. This is the part that actually came up with the whole idea, at least for me, for the car. I'm not 100% sure on how these go on, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. First thing I know we got to do is we got to get the front wheel off to access the back of the housing for the lights, and then we can get the lights off. So go and break the wheels loose. So to access it, we gotta pop this out, which is already missing some clips. Well, we just ran into a little bit of a problem. I think we did, because my air intake's right there, and then my blow-off valve is in the way. All right, so we got the old one out. Now we got to put the new one in. I honestly don't even know how much of this I've gotten on camera because it's all over the place for this shit, but yeah, this stuff is giving me a little bit of a hard time, so I'm on the struggle bus here a little bit. Well, we'll say it fits like a glove, so. Now, before I even think about even putting all of this back together, I need to go ahead and button this up real quick and just verify for myself that all of this works. So they work. Okay. Alright, so that's it with the stock ones, and then you have the sequentials, that looks a little bit brighter than these, but it's not that bad of a look. And then of course too, so I have like black housing on my headlights. I have the black housing in here, so it looks a little better than just plain old stock ones. But I want to hold on to these and see how long these last. I don't use this car that much, so I don't imagine that it's gonna go out anytime soon. So all right, let's I think we're gonna call it with that. Just gonna get the passenger side done off camera, and then we can get started with the next mod. All right, so our final thing is side markers. Yeah, so I've always been giving shit about how my side markers look on my car. Apparently black is the way to go. Everybody and their mom's running black side markers are saying that red kind of throws it off. I don't know. I've never really noticed them like other people do, but this should just be a simple install. So doesn't necessarily work because on the new ones, I have this, unless this goes in place of the bulb. Yep. Okay, I was tripping for a second. So you take the old part of the clip, take the bulb out, and then this goes in place of the bulb. This goes in. This slides in first. And then that clips in. Here's a look at the before and then after. I kind of understand where everybody was coming from. Again, I was getting a lot of shit because my side markers were red while it would look cleaner in black. And I do admit, it does look cleaner black. So I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. I'm not going to lie. Wait for my light to turn off. Yo, dude, this lights up the entire ground. That's insane. So you can really be seen at nighttime. That's wild. Boom, new side marker, little sequential startup. And then, yeah, this literally is like a fucking reverse light. I'm not even kidding. I don't know. Let me see the passenger side, because I haven't put the passenger side on. It's just barely on the passenger side. Wow, that's crazy. There's no like sequentials to it or anything either. It's just an LED light. Wow. Well, okay then. All right, so that's what I'm going to call it with this video. It's been a little bit of experience with these parts. I spent about 180 bucks total, and when I was originally going to spend 220 bucks on just a name brand pair of sequentials in the front. Would I say it was worth it? Absolutely. You know, I'm using 2 parts of the 5 that I bought, and I spent less money, and I'm making a couple more changes to the car than I originally was planning on doing. So would I throw shade to anybody who's got Temu parts on the car? Absolutely not. These parts are pretty good quality. Would I say they're top of the line? I don't know. I haven't dealt with many top of the line car parts in my lifetime. So it's definitely been an experience. Like I said, these parts aren't for everybody. You know, the parts that I'm throwing away, like the shift knob, the window crank, and probably the floor mats, somebody could find some use out of them. It doesn't necessarily mean that because it didn't work for me, that it's not going to work for you guys. So yeah, I recommend just giving it a shot. See, don't go all out and spend $2,000 on Temu car parts and expect all of it to work and all of it to be good quality. Spend a little bit here and there, you know, a little bit of money that you don't mind spending on some, you know, parts. Mechanically, I would stay away from that stuff. If you guys are crazy and you want to experiment with the turbo kits that are on there, I've seen a few. Not, I wouldn't say kits necessarily, then by all means go for it. But would I recommend it? No. You know, do it at your own risk. So, but yeah, if you guys happen to enjoy the video, please leave a like. I do have a 1968 Mustang that I have a build series going on. So if you guys are new to the channel, feel free to go and check that out. We got a bunch of videos coming out pretty soon with this car. We have a bunch that are out already. So yeah, it's getting hot in here, so I'm gonna get out of here. Peace.